Hi Gemini, this message is for Gemini Sun, Moon, or Rising for the month of May or for whenever you're watching this reading. And please be sure to check out your other placements in my other videos. And if you like the content that I share, please click the like or subscribe button below. All right, Gemini. Happy birthday to all you May Geminis for starters. And starting around the first week, I think it's the 3rd of May, Mercury moves into Gemini, and then we have Venus, and the North Node is already there, and then the Sun hits on the 20th, I believe, of May. So a lot of activity in the month of May, and really this is bringing and harnessing lots of energy into yourself. I don't know another way to put it. It's into yourself, Gemini. And so for your energy right out of the gate, you had 4 cards come out. You got the 8 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Justice card. So right out of the gate with the 8 of Cups, you're clearly walking away from something, and that's evident in your reading as well. And this makes sense as you become more and more clear with what lines up with your authentic self. With this year, particularly around the start of this year, there's been more of a feeling to drop any dead weight. Anything that's not in alignment with your authenticity, right? So to continue moving forward, to continue growing, to continue expanding, and not to do it in a way that is accruing negative karma, that's hurting other people, doing anything like that, but in a way that is ultimately for your best and highest good. And that's what your intention is, I'm sensing, that you're coming maybe into more of a clear focus, especially as Mercury enters into Gemini. And then Knight of Pentacles. In the past, if there was any flightiness, if there was that quick moving energy that comes so naturally for Gemini with mutable air, right? You're now moving with a more focused intent. You're moving with more strategy, more purpose in your plan. And I'm sensing whatever you're working on at this time, that's exactly how you're taking it into how that energy is showing up for you. I also feel that this connects with that message that I was just saying about all this energy being harnessed within your chart on sense of self, especially if you're Gemini ascendant. And this allows you the capacity to maybe plan for yourself and manifest in new ways, where in the past, if your energy has felt scattered, if you felt like you needed to take care of other people and other people's problems, and it's such like a loving and generous sentiment until it's something where you ignore your own self-worth, right? Or your own projects even. And so I think this is an indicator that you're coming back into alignment with what your heart wants, and that in your strategy, it might look like something that you've never quite done before, that you're not at all in a flighty energy. You're actually being encouraged now to be in a very grounded, stable energy as you move forward on the projects that you're working on and the plans that you want to execute. And reiterated in a different way with the balance of mind and heart with the Temperance card. If there's any area of your life where you're feeling really impatient right now, that could totally be relevant for you for the month of May. Try to figure out a practice that works for you, where you can stay grounded and balanced in your heart and mind. Don't allow your mind to get worked up in scenarios or maybe even like false narratives, and stay really focused on that which you're creating. Knight of Pentacles. And then the Justice card. This is beautiful. I'm seeing this as like an advice card for you. This is a reminder that things work according to divine order, according to a divine plan. Despite the fact I love it with the Knight of Pentacles because it's you taking tangible steps, right? But also the reminder that that there are things outside of your control, of course, and that divine timing is at play. So if you're finding that you want to put your foot like down hard on the gas and you're coming up against something, don't worry. Temperance and Justice are reminders here to just take it one step at a time and do what you can with what you're allotted and what the time is allowing for, and continue making progress, maybe even if that feels like it's in small ways for you, Gemini. And in your environment, you got the Wheel card, and something is certainly turning over. I'm sensing this as a sense of yourself. Do you notice how she's alone on top of the Wheel card here? But this is big energy moving right now for the month of May. This is super big. It's almost like it's lining you up for your season to be elevated, to feel elevated in a sense of yourself, not from a place of pride and ego, but from a place where you're, especially if you're in the healing arts, like in a place of service, you might be stepping up more, using your voice more, really tapping into a more authentic sense of yourself through your communication with others, with your clients, maybe even with your friends. And this is helping you stand apart. You're really standing apart from the crowd at this time. The energy is propelling you there. And just to reiterate the Wheel of Fortune, you got it on the bottom of the deck in the Rider-Waite. So start of the reading, the Hanged Man. You might have felt a sense of hold up. I sense it inside of yourself. This might not be an external event in your life that has you held up. This could, for some it could. But I'm sensing for most that this is feeling a sense of not knowing how to move forward based on balancing your own energy, right? Or feeling one way inside of yourself, and maybe it's been difficult for you to communicate that out into the world. And now you're getting the opportunity in May to maybe reassess all of that, to allow this energy to propel you up, uplift you, and start standing tall for who you are and what you believe. Your voice is really magical. It's important, right? That we share. So Hanged Man, coming out of that energy and moving straight into the Knight of Wands. Now I want to take all of this together because there's certainly another person coming up in your reading, Gemini, and the Hanged Man, Knight of Wands, Six of Pentacles. I want to jump into this story real quick. If there is someone from your past who had you tying yourself up into pretzel knots to try to understand a situation where you felt like you had to look at it from new perspectives, but that didn't bring you clarity and you felt really confused and maybe it was head gamey. This person was in and out. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a player card in some, it can't be read that way for sure. And Six of Pentacles, who was breadcrumbing you in the past. This person could show up again in the month of May, for sure. And this time, you're looking at this from an entirely new perspective, Hanged Man. We'll get into that more in a second. Now, if the Knight of Wands is your energy, then this truly is like a yin and yang. This is like you in that chrysalis phase where, like I said, there's something internally maybe that's felt stuck. Like you were still healing, you were still growing, you were doing something over these past months. I'm sensing March specifically. And now this is like Knight of Wands, just like breaking free, breaking out of the gate, really in that passionate energy and finding what connects you with like your purpose in the world, finding what like makes your heart sing and come alive. And that in May, especially at the start of May, I'm sensing, is a message for you. Another thing with Venus coming into your sign, this can make you very attractive at this time, May, leading right up into your season. And Six of Pentacles. I kind of want to make a small note with the North Node in Gemini for the year. While there is, we just spoke about this beautiful energy of allowing yourself to be elevated, which can naturally put you into the spotlight. This is a reminder and kind of like a token of a message to remember to give to those who love you. To, look at who has been filling your cup, who's there for you, who really supports you, who do you consider like your friends and family and your tribe. And, it's a reminder to pour back into them as well with that card. Ace of Pentacles underneath the Hanged Man. So a new opportunity can very well arise as you've taken all of this time to cocoon and now you're coming out of that energy, allowing yourself to be in the spotlight, which May wants for you, Nine of Wands. And a new opportunity could come seemingly out of thin air. And this is something that could be potentially lucrative. This might even be a side project, something that you didn't see coming from or something you didn't see coming this soon from something that you've invested in, right? And And at first you might not even trust it. You might have a lot of questions. 5 of Swords, Page of Swords coming out next, and I'll take all these together. You might have a lot of questions surrounding this, right? You might not quite know who to trust in some aspect of your life, sensing work. And Page of Swords. Just make sure you ask the right questions. You don't have to turn it into the Knight of Swords, of course, and I'm not sensing that you would. But you can just, raise the questions. Whatever comes to mind, you can bring it through. And allow yourself to free up that mental space, that energy, because you don't need to go into that tumultuous space with all of these blessings in this season, right? Now, this is a reiteration also going back to that message with another person of a new sparkling opportunity that someone is wanting to present to you who was very devious and deceptive in your past. It's right underneath the Knight of Wands, that 5 of Swords. And they might come through with a text, a small message, Page of Swords. This might feel a lot like the breadcrumbing from the past. This might also give you some anxiety, get you a little bit in your head. Although I'm sensing you're at this now, again, going back to that Hangman, I'm sensing that you're now looking at this truly through a whole new set of eyes. You really see this from a different perspective, and now you're way more tapped in to your intuition. High Priestess. So I love that this card came out for you. I feel like if this is a situation from your past and someone from your past who hurt you, you have allowed the energy of the past, maybe it's not even this person, but circumstances or the energy of the past to support your spiritual journey, to learn how to connect with your intuition, right? To rely on it more and trust it for really big steps that you're making. And I mean, this offer can't really mess with a High Priestess, right? When you're in that energy. If you feel in your head, trapped in your head about this situation, the advice with this card is to go within, right? To meditate. Take the time that you need if you need that. And there's strong intuitive sense here with the Hanged Man, Ace of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. Any opportunity, there's definitely a connection here between you tapping into your intuition with any new opportunity that comes in, be that work and business, be that a new relationship, home situation, anything that is seemingly random. There's a strong sense of intuitive guidance here. And that can come to the forefront through your voice, Ace of Swords. You might be speaking truth in a way that has you stepping into a version of yourself that definitely has always been there, but you've never quite stepped into before. And it might surprise some people, it might shock some people. But you see that crown? Like, I'm really drawn to the crown in this card. I'm usually not. And this is you asserting your personal power. That's really what that is. And when you do this night, this sword cuts through any of the crap, like anything that's been said that was deceptive, anything manipulative. This is like speaking truth to power. And it's a very, like, there's a powerful message with that for you. This might happen towards the end of May. This might even happen around May 20th. And 10 of Swords. It ends a situation. This, I'm sensing, has more to do with the other person. I mean, I think for the entire situation, it ends a situation, right? But in terms of the emotional impact of the 10 of Swords, I'm feeling this more on the other party's side of things. And I also feel like this clears up a lot of stuff that's just been cloudy and hazy, maybe even in your own energy, right before your season really gets going, or right at the start of it. And just a reiteration again, because right when that card came out, the 10 of Swords, bottom of the deck, Wheel of Fortune. This turns over an entirely new cycle for you, Gemini. It's so beautiful. And a reminder that that season that you were in, for Gemini Ascendant, Saturn in the 8th, it's like 2.5-year transit. I think I spoke about this last month. That might have been a time when you felt like almost like all hope was lost, like at the bottom of that wheel, right? And this is a reminder that that wheel is turning over. It always does. That goes back to the Justice card, divine laws at play. All right, Gemini, that's been your reading for the month of May. Take care.